Welcome to the podcast Behind the Counter with your host, me, Heidi Blum, also known as the Food Czar. I was born and bred in Livingston, New Jersey, and I have seen firsthand over the past few years how food and the people behind the counter can bring a community together. We all have a story. We all have an appetite. Each episode will explore the thread between food, people, and community, and the stories that weave them all together. So let's get behind the counter and dig in. Here we go.
This is Behind the Counter.
Behind the Counter.
With the Food Czar. Here's Heidi.
Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Counter with the Food Czar, which is me, Heidi Blum. I'm so excited about today's guest because I feel like we share the same three important things, which is community, family, and food.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I am sitting with Livingston's very own Joey Cioffi.
What's up, Heidi?
Hey, Joey. Look, we're very cute.
We are cute.
Yeah, I think we both smile all day long.
We do. It's important. Smiling is important.
It's the best. So, for those that don't know Joey, I think everybody does. And if you are lucky enough to follow him on Instagram, you see he is everywhere and anywhere. And Joey's actually one of the reasons why I am doing this podcast, because you really throw yourself into the community. Mm-hmm. You throw yourself into a lot of charities, and you seem like a really good guy that likes to give back and that works really hard.
Thank you. Thank you. It is important. It's something that's kind of a part of my fabric. My parents, always, they always felt it was important to just give back for people, and I always tell my kids, like, the line behind us is a lot longer than the line ahead of us. And we're very fortunate. We're very blessed, just for the simple things of being able to see, walk, and eat and talk and just be here with you. And I find that to be something that we take for granted, and there's so many people out there that can use assistance. And when you give back, it comes back to you, and I think that's, putting good vibes out there, and they come back to you.
You seem to be, and I mean this in the best of ways, a mama's boy. And he's blushing right now, but you can see how important family is to you. So your parents, it seems like, came from Italy.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me the story a little bit, how you got to sort of, not even the salad house yet, just how you got to be into the food business.
Okay, so I am a proud son of immigrant parents that sacrificed it all. They came here at 18 years old, and they legitimately took a boat. They took a boat from Italy, 11 days, on not these boats that you see, on TV right now. None of those cruise boats. This was a rickety, crappy
like
boat.
Christopher Columbus, the Maria,
yes.
Pinta, whatever,
Santa
Nina,
Maria,
whatever it's called, yeah.
And they made that voyage scared, leaving their family, leaving everything behind, not knowing the language. They were coming out here just to achieve the American dream. And when they got here, the streets weren't paved with gold. They got into Newark, and they lived in a little apartment, and they were with my aunt and uncle, and it was just the four of them. They're very lonely and working 7 days a week in a garment, like it was like a factory setting, and with a very tough foreman, and it was just, the life wasn't good. And it was like it was sad times, and they had a lot of, they thought they made a mistake coming over.
What year was this about, you think?
1958.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So my dad took an interest in, he noticed there was this pizzeria, really nice guy making pies at this pizzeria down Neck, Newark, and my father started going there. He's like, "Oh, I want to learn how to make pizza." So he started making pizzas with a guy, and he saw that after at the end of the night, my dad thought it was just like he was just helping the guy out, and the guy's giving him $20 or something. Back then, $20, he made it in an entire week. He's like, "Oh my God, I just made this in one, a
just
couple nights of helping out and making pizza here." So he started going there a little bit more often, and the guy, I think, was at pretty much the point where he wanted to retire, wanted to be done with the business. So they struck a deal where my dad was able to. He was going to hold a note, and he took over the building and the pizzeria. So my dad, my mom, my uncle, my aunt, they all chipped in, and they started Tony's Pizza in Newark, which is still there. Which is pretty awesome to know that he's the original Tony, and there's there's still a place there from.
Wait, your dad is Tony?
My dad's Tony. Yeah.
No
yeah,
way.
Yeah, I mean, he sold it, many years, years after. But
that's incredible.
Yeah. So he, but he was a hustler right from the beginning because he wanted to prove that the decision that him and my mother made, to the relatives and the people that they left, and came over here. He wanted to show them that they made the right choice. So they busted their hump every single day. My dad had a telephone line that ran upstairs to where they slept, and basically he was open 24 hours a day. Which was unbelievable. Like, he would literally get a phone call at like 2, 3 in the morning.
They need pizzas?
They need pizzas. He'd go downstairs, make the pie, get in his car, and deliver them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's the type of role model and
work ethic.
My mother, and they. So that was the beginning, and that's kind of how they used food as a vessel to like start the American dream, and and there was like a lot of ebbs and flows, and I could talk to you for a lot longer than this podcast to tell you, kind of their journey to get to where they were in Union, Cioffi's in Union, which is still there. It's my uncle's place. And then eventually in 1981 to Cioffi's in Springfield, which is our business. And I kind of grew up in that business. I was born in 1977, and as soon as I was able to reach the counter, I started, going there a little bit. And one of my first jobs was picking up cigarette butts in the parking lot.
So glamorous, right? Yeah.
My dad's like, Joey, go outside and make sure you go pick up all that. I'm like, he goes,
yeah.
He goes, even the chewing gum, make sure you get everything. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, all right, Dad. So I, that's kind of how, I was there, and that was the only time I would be able to see my parents was, going to the deli. My brother and sister, my brother was 14 years older than me, and my brother's, my brother's 14 years older than me, my sister's 15 years older than me. There's a long gap. I kind of think I might have been like a little too much homemade wine.
But thank God for you.
Yeah. And the story of how I came to be, it always changed.
Evolves,
when I was a kid, it was, they prayed for me and, for me to come and, next thing
you were there.
Yeah, I was there. So that was kind of, how I started. But then, I always joke when I'm talking to people nowadays, at 11, 12 years old, which blows my mind because my kids are at that age and my youngest is 11. And to think that that's when I started, ringing people up and answering the phone and actually going there. And I thought I was just going there to hang out with my father and brother, meanwhile, they put me on the shift, they put me on the schedule.
You didn't even know. You're like, oh, I'm just here to hang out. And they'd be like, okay, from 2 to 4, Joey, 2 to 4. Yeah.
After school, I'm like, oh, Joey, come on, have a slight, come here, get a sandwich and get behind the counter. So, so that's kind of how I started with, with the working in the business. And I'll tell you, it was, I might have hated it then, because I did. It was very, it sucks seeing everybody else being able to like enjoy their summers. Like, I wasn't looking forward to the summers, they were looking forward to the summer. Like, friends are like, oh my God, we're going to camp, I'm going here, we're going to Great Adventure. And I'm like, I'm going to work, but
I'm sure they visited you.
Yeah, they would visit me. Get some free food here.
Yeah, of course. I know the way that works. And your mom seems to be like the true Italian cook.
Yeah,
Did she learn it in Italy or did she learn it here?
She, unfortunately, she had a rough upbringing. She lost her father at 13 years old while my grandmother was pregnant. So it was a really rough, she had a rough life. So she kind of she got thrusted into adulthood very quickly. And I got to pause before I get emotional.
I understand.
And she, so she was just nurturing right from at that age because she had to take all her sisters and brothers, which she had 5 underneath her wing, like at a very young age. And she just learned, I'll be honest with you, there's no cookbook. She just learned by touch and feel. And I always joke because my wife, at least she has like famous meatballs. She makes all the things. And we're like, when Marnie and I started dating and we said, when we got engaged, she's like, oh, I got to learn how to make your mom's meatballs. So she'd go, go in the kitchen and my mom's like, okay. And Marnie has a pen and paper ready to get like a recipe, like a standard recipe. She's sitting there like, okay, ready to go. My mom's like, okay, so you got to take a little bit of this, a little bit. And Marnie goes, whoa, hold on. She goes, what do you mean a little bit? She goes, what are you doing? She goes, I don't understand. She goes, and my mom's like, no. She goes, you just got to, and then you taste. You got to make sure you taste. And Marnie's like, and she looks at me, she goes, I can't, how am I going to duplicate this? How am I going to, but yeah, I mean, she was, she's a food pusher by nature. And my mother is such a special woman. She is, she's like
The true matriarch of the family. Yeah,
but she has a heart that is just unmatched, and I really get my empathy and my, I really believe I get like my work ethic and my, my drive, I think from my father and the empathy and the caring, from my mother. Like
your heart. You could see it you could see it as you talk about her. I mean, it's really
a special
very
woman.
nice. So little Joey works 11 years old, 12 years old at Cioffi's.
Yep.
And then you go to...
I ended up going to college. I excelled in sports. Baseball and football were pretty much my main sports. I was able to, get recruited to play football in college, and I chose Monmouth University. It was close to home. Mama's boy. I needed to stay a little bit closer. And my sister lived down the shore, and my brother, who's like my mentor, especially with football, he would be close by, be able to drop and see some games. So it was the right fit for me. Went there, studied finance, and I always joke with people, I learned more growing up in the business than I did in 4 years of college. I love Monmouth. I had a great experience there, but I was like an athlete, so I was like...
You had a childhood internship.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So but then I graduated a finance degree, and once I graduated, I gravitated towards Wall Street because that's what everybody was doing in the early. I graduated in 2000, and everybody and their mother was on Wall Street making money. So I'm like, all right, I'll figure I could do this. Got a job at Merrill Lynch, and already I didn't like the fact that I had to shave every day and wear a suit every day.
I don't see you. I looking at you as you're telling me this. I'm like, it does not fit. That would be like me working on Wall Street.
Yeah, it wasn't for me, and I kind of felt it. Then 9/11, actually that day, I was supposed to go on a job interview, and it was kind of finalized like a job, and the guy was like, yeah, we'll meet at the World Trade Center Cafe in that area. And he says, you want to come in at 7 or 8, or you want to come in at 11? I'm early 20s. I'm like, I'm not waking up friggin'.
Yeah, I'll see you at 11.
I'll see you at 11 o'clock, which ultimately kept me from being in Manhattan for 9/11. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that was kind of like a moment where I was just like, what am I doing? Why? I was about to go, into another job that I probably didn't like. I really love food. I love people. We have a great family business here in Springfield. My brother does a wonderful job, and he could probably use my assistance. My dad's at the tail end of his, wanting to go to Florida and enjoy his life. So, at that point, I ended up making a pivot, and I felt a little guilty because, I have this degree, a finance degree, and and I'm going back to the family business. But I'd like to think that I, help my brother, kind of modernize the business with POS and putting some healthier options and just getting Cioffi's a little bit more up to date.
Don't you think that's life, though? I mean, it's like paths are put in front of us, and we go to college, of course, and we pay a lot of money for the degree. But I mean, it's look at me now.
What was your degree?
My degree was not in food czar. It was not in food czaring. It was in communications. I mean, I was a TV production major. Mm-hmm. I went into video production. This sort of, yeah. All right, fine. All right, fine. It sort of comes around. Yeah. Okay, so now you go to Cioffi's, and then how does the salad house get born?
So, my wife thinks it's funny. So she'd always complain about, I always wanted more.
Oh, let me guess. Marnie wanted more salads.
She wanted chopped salad. She says in New York City, there's a chopped salad on every corner. And in the suburbs, there's nothing like it. So,
which she's right, but at the time, she was right.
She is right. Yeah. But I had a vision to, use everything I learned in the food business and kind of scale it or use my kind of what I've learned and put it into place as opposed to my hands and having to be there, because I was kind of scarred at the fact that having a family business is very tough. You're on call every weekend. Every weekend I'm working. It's like when I was at Merrill and I had Saturday and Sunday off, I'm like, what do I do
with my time?
I got 2 days off.
I have to find a hobby.
It's not normal to have 2 days off. It was just we even had a shore house that we never got to enjoy. There were so many things that family vacations. It was very tough. So I kind of wanted a different way, and having a young family. I was like, I thought, Marnie had said that, and I definitely was like, that's definitely something that's needed. Truth be told, I wasn't even a big salad eater. I'm a little bit better now. The founder of Salad House doesn't really eat salad.
We won't tell them. Yeah.
But I do love hearty sandwiches and French fries and like all these different things that we have on the menu. And there's a kids component to it. So the Salad House was kind of, it was my creation of something that could feed the whole family. And then as it and I was at a traffic light in Millburn and saw that, and I was like, this is what I want to put in this place. At this vacant sign, in this vacant space, went home, drew a business plan, presented it to the landlord. He agreed. He thought it would be a good idea, a good fit for Millburn. So in 2011, Salad House was born, and it was a lot of learning, but at the same time, it was successful right from the beginning.
Okay, so what does set you apart from your other competitors?
What we do, we're able to feed more than just, the person that wants to eat a little healthier. We're able to, feed everybody. And then it's not just your home family, it's your work family too. Because you say, I want to go out to grab something to eat. Like, I want to go to Salad House. Like, I don't want a salad. But, well, they have they have the crispy Mother Clucker. This one sandwich, it's amazing.
I love that name. It's a great name, yeah.
Or two people getting a salad and sharing some sweet potato fries in the middle. Like, life's about balance, and I feel like there's more of people that are like that in this world, and the opportunity for a business to be successful. That's where I thought, and also I think as time is going on, we're becoming a little bit more. We're all educated on what we put in our body. So, the days of the fast food industry, which is, listen, no knock on them. They did their thing and they're great. But I even saw it with my own children where you're introducing healthier things to children at a younger age. So they might have started eating, chicken fingers and fries at the Salad House, but then they'll see, my kids are a prime example where they'll see my wife's salad. Yeah. And they'll see my wife's salad and they're like, oh my God, let me take a bite. I love that. I could create my own. Next thing you know, they're creating their own salad with all the ingredients they like, and we have, thousands of combinations. You can make whatever you like. And that was, even for my son. So it's when we go to Salad House, it's everybody's eating salad. We might get fries or buffalo poppers. That's another differentiator. Buffalo poppers are amazing. That was a great, great addition to our menu.
And that's a good balance.
It is. Yeah.
So then you decided to, franchise, because lucky for us, Livingston has our very own Salad House. Dave Delinko.
We do. Dave he's amazing, by the way. Amazing operator. And but I'm going to wait before I talk about Dave, because Dave is very special to me. I opened up a second location before a franchise. I opened up in Morristown just to kind of prove it. And I opened up Morristown, and that was another one that was successful. And it was it was funny because instead of getting demographics where normal people are find out the population, daytime pop, I would do my own research. I'd walk around and be like, where can I get a chopped salad? Can I get a chopped? Well, you go to this diner over here, or you go to Roots, but Roots is not really, can't get a chopped salad.
And everything's pubs there in Morristown. That's smart.
So I did that for, a lot of time during the lunch, during lunchtime. And, and I identified that as a spot that we could do. And that location, it's been 7 or 8 years we've been open there, and that was a great, it proved that the Salad House wasn't going to just be successful there. So at that point, I decided, I wanted a franchise. We literally grinded the axe for a long time before we, really got going. Dave was our first true franchise.
Oh.
And Dave, believed in the brand, and I will always, I'm not just saying this because, we're on this, Livingston, we're Livingstonians. Is that what they're called? Is that what we're called?
L-Towners.
L-Towners, all right. Dave believed in it, and Dave, him and his wife saw a Facebook post that I posted, said that was franchising, and he was an attorney, and he wasn't jiving, sort of like me on Wall Street. Dave didn't really like going to work and fighting for it. It was almost every day was like a fight being a lawyer, and he believed in the Salad House, and he grew with us, and it was really special because he believed in something that was very young and very raw and very
it's a scary jump.
It is not it's not like you're investing a little bit of money. This is a sizable investment, and and for him to make that career change when you go to, being a lawyer. It's one thing for me to, get my bachelor's in finance. He went to be a lawyer and, forever.
And during these times, COVID, all of it, yeah.
Yeah, he had open like right during COVID.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I remember you posting about the location, and it really is a good location.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be at the time, right? But that's a really good location.
Yeah. I fell in love with it, but...
It's on Route 10 in Livingston, by the way.
Yeah. It is. It is. The old Matola Deli, and all you old Livingston,
L-towners.
L-towners.
Come on, Joey.
So that was special for me because, he had his roots here and I live in town, and it was just such a special moment, because, he did such a great job because he not only, it's hard to this business is not easy, and he, especially learning it, and he learned it. So,
and what's great is it's such a great addition to town because Dave really does give back to the community too. I mean, he does, you could see it. He did restaurant, whatever. There was for the Kiwanis restaurant week last week. All the schools, you could see how he gets involved, which is amazing because that's a good representation for you.
Yes. And
probably for you to sell more franchises too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And he's an ambassador of the brand, like no question. But what he does, like he really, and I'll be honest with you, like, people come up to me, like they'll see my, Salad House shirt and they'll be like, oh my God, I know the owner. And I'm like, great. I'm like, I love that because he is the owner.
He's the owner.
He's the owner of that, and he has taken ownership, and he's really taken that place and made it his own. His wife, his children, it's a beautiful thing to see, and I love it because Livingston is such a wonderful community. And again, I'm not just saying it; I live it.
Any ones coming up anywhere that
we do? We have Newark that should be opening up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's full circle.
Wow,
it's a special one for me because it's.
Is it next to Tony's Pizza?
It's not too far.
Oh,
it's not
fun.
too far, and it's funny when I showed my father, I took him to Tony's Pizza and introduced him to like the new, the owners there, and it was a really wonderful moment to see, his reaction because you could see in his eyes and in his broken English, he couldn't really. I don't think he was really expressing it all, but like you could see the memories and all the things that that went through it, because that was kind of where it started, and it's going to be our 10th location. So it's like it's like kind of like a really
that's
special.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's special.
Okay, so let's talk about Joey, the community-driven person.
Yeah, I like getting back to like what I said. I kind of want to leave a legacy. I don't know. Like sometimes I feel as though you need to really do it with your heart and really, really try and make an impact and show your children, because I want them to carry that on. Like, forget about money. Like, money's, of course you need it.
Legacy is the right word.
Yeah.
Like you have to lead by example.
Yeah. And that's kind of what, I want for, because it makes me happy to see people smile, and doing good for people makes people smile, and especially people that are less fortunate than us. So I really, it's like a big part of, and I'm very, very lucky to have a group of people in my office, in this office that we're here in Westfield, that everybody around the table and every franchise owner that we have, all are on board with this philanthropic mindset. So we actually, a couple of years ago, we started this thing that was like a, kind of a crazy idea. It was called the Big Give. And, it kicked the idea around the room, and everybody was just like, it's giving 100% of the proceeds, not 10%, like of a given day, and giving it to a charity that kind of touches one of us in some way, shape, or form.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so the first year we did it in honor of a friend of ours, his son Luke, our friend Rob, both. His son, he has autism, and he's with Spectrum 360 and, Lifetime, like that whole organization. So, that was our first big give, and it was great. I think we raised, we raised like $5,000 or $6,000, and it was, we only had like 3 or 4 locations at the time. Last year, in honor of a friend of ours, Riley Cogan, who passed away tragically at 5 years old, and was saved lives by being an organ donor. We were able to raise over $10,000 for that, and and that was like 5 locations at the time. So so now this upcoming big give, and this is one of the things that I was going to, give you as one of the first
exclusive.
people.
There's an exclusive. There's an exclusive. Yeah.
This year, I'm good friends with Eric LeGrand. I don't know if you know Eric LeGrand's story. Eric LeGrand and I became very close. My nephew played college football at Rutgers, so I would attend a lot of the practices and be involved with the Rutgers community. And then I saw Eric in the parking lot one time, and I just started talking to him, and him and his mother, Karen, and we just got along, and it was like an instant connection, and we exchanged numbers, and I said, I got to feed you got to come by my store, and next thing you know, we're just texting and laughing, but his story is just so compelling, and his mindset and the way he conducts himself daily, and just his mental fortitude, how strong he is, and how he smiles all the time is just...
I mean, for people who don't know who Eric LeGrand is, he was a football player for Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what the years were, but he was tragically collided in a tackle.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a paraplegic from the neck down, and he.
So what's the news?
So we are going to be doing our big give this year. This will be our third big give, and we're going to be donating 100% of the proceeds. We haven't decided on a date yet because I'm coordinating with the Team LeGrand, which is a part of the Christopher Reeve Foundation.
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hopefully doubling the donation, and in Eric's honor, and putting it out there.
So if adult Joey could talk to 11, 12-year-old Joey working in the pizza shop and not very happy picking up cigarette butts and chewed up gum, what would you say to yourself?
I love that. I've never been asked that question.
Oh, well, I'm so glad. That's the deep, dark interviewer that I am. Yeah.
I would say, don't worry, you're going to lose a little weight because you're a little chubby. Don't worry.
Weren't we all?
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just stop eating those chicken parm sandwiches after school that Mom makes, and the bag of Doritos, watching Alvin and the Chipmunks. Just always smile. Just continue to smile through it all, through the ups, downs, because you'll be all right.
All right, let's talk about your family for a second.
Okay. They're my why. They're my why. They're my drive, because like I said, life, brings you down, and when you're down, it's hard to, there's times like, I had some, failed businesses, some, other things that happened in life, and they were my inspiration. They were the reason, that I kind of rose above it all.
So let's wrap it up. Ready? This is the wrap up. Okay. Joey Cioffi, his roots are his family. Mm-hmm. You can see the love of your family in you, and you've had amazing role models.
Yeah.
And you're giving it back to your children.
Yeah.
And you're giving it back to the community.
Yeah.
And to everyone around you.
Yeah.
That's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
You should be proud of yourself.
I am.
Good. You can end it right there.
I'm
you should be.
Because you know what? It's a testament to like everything you just said, and it's really, it's kind of for them, And
so, as your shirt says, fueled by Salad House, you're really fueled by family.
I'm fueled by family. Yeah, I am.
That's nice. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, let's
do it again.
Yeah. Let's do it again. Awesome. Thank you. If you are hearing this message, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I'm truly grateful for you and this opportunity. The purpose of the Behind the Counter podcast is to bring food, people, and community together. I hope you'll return for more episodes and explore with me. I want to personally thank Fran Linnell of Design 68 for my amazing Behind the Counter podcast logo, and Travis Lohenberg for my awesome Behind the Counter music, and all the guests that take their time to sit and talk with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you hear your podcasts. If you'd like to support the Behind the Counter podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends and family, and you can follow me on Instagram at Heidi Blum. If you have any feedback or stories that you want to share, you can email me at foodsarbtc@gmail.com.